Cosmic Zap is based on the psychedelic superheroes of the 1970s.
Okay.
And most of the really cosmic material that you see in the movies right now was invented in those stories.
Or established.
Established, yes. The plot lines that gave rise to Thanos and the Infinity, this and that, they all began back then. And the creators were very political. They were very radical. In fact, they were against the Vietnam War, and they were, one of them was a Vietnam veteran, Jim Starlin. Another one, his good friend, Steve Englehart, was called a conscientious objector, somebody who risked going to prison because he would not go to the war. And so they were doing these comics, and they took a lot of LSD. This is documented. It's not a guess. And they had a lot of fun, and they wrote amazing comics. And so they weren't the only ones. There were lots and lots of people. And they would all tell you that the work of Jack Kirby and Steve Ditko had started all of this with their Negative Zone and Ragnarok and Doctor Strange, and all of those things had started this trend in comics. And they were also doing things in underground comics at the same time, the hippie comics. And as I was saying before, all of these people were involved in rock and roll and writing science fiction and fantasy, and everybody was everything. So you will look at the album covers of the time, and they look like these comics. So what does this mean for us as a game? How are we going to... there's no acid at the table for us, so we have dice instead. And I don't know if it's as much fun, but the way I will help if I simply show you these sheets. I brought 9 characters, and you can pick. And I was showing them a little bit. For example, this is Sweet Jane, and you will see that in order she is super, personal, and cosmic. So we think of her by a superhero name. And that's how she would, if you were to draw her, she would have kind of more of a superhero look. And we look at her pieces inside Super, we see that she is half woman, half galaxy, that she's a thief of arts and curiosities. So she's more like a super villain almost. She has a trillion-star punch and is hunted by the dream police. Okay? So that's her superhero kind of persona. Then she has a personal life, which is in her case is very extensive. And then she has a little bit of a cosmic touch. Her powers are just a little, they open the door to things that are bigger than all of us.
Okay.
So far, so good? Okay.
Almost think of us like a dream eater or something.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. We will, if you are seeing connections across things, keep that in mind. Because that's a big part of play. And then on the other hand, we have somebody who is completely personal. This guy is a kid. So that means if personal is first, then that just means an ordinary name is the name of the character. And then we have, she is Janie Jones personally, but it's not what we call her or her primary look. Yeah. When we look at Jody Blunkett, he just looks like a little kid.
All right.
But he has a superhero side, Captain Galaxy. And then also a small amount of cosmic effect because Captain Galaxy is complicated. So so far, so good. We also can go all the way in the other direction and have somebody who is completely cosmic. So their identity is the internality of all reality. And then secondarily personal. And then a little bit of superhero. So this is not somebody who we would even identify as a superhero. This is like you are reading a comic book, and then a cosmic being comes down, and they have just enough of a superhero look so they fit in the story, but otherwise, it's like Galactus, right? He's a cosmic being. He kind of fits with superheroes just the way he looks. So that's the idea when super is down here. So you're getting an idea? You can see that there are some ratings of numbers, and most of them are easy, things like 13, 17, 18. Bigger is better. And you can see also this strange thing called a W. Right now, just think of it as 20. Shugi.
All right.
So that's Shugi et
Yeah.
Right? Shugi, Twa. So, yeah. It's just a way to write it. And it also means that we can use one die. I will show you. There's a way to use one die to go all the way up.
Okay.
The W is a way to read the dice. So that means we can take a look at some characters if you want. And it really doesn't matter as long as you kind of like the image in your head. And I know they look complicated, but remember, there is nothing behind these phrases except what you want.
Anything about the setting or something?
I am trying to get there. Yes.
All right then. So we're supposed to choose characters first.
Well, I want to explain to you a few things, that this is about a genre more than a setting.
Okay.
So these are comics made by political radicals on lots of drugs.
Okay.
And they drew crazy superheroes having a lot of fun doing terrible wars and psychological traumas.
All
and
right.
this is when Adam Warlock and Captain Marvel fought Thanos.
Yes.
I am talking about when they did that for the first time.
Okay.
When this stuff was written, when it was invented.
By,
yes.
for example,
Jim Starlin.
All right.
Steve Englehart, Jack Kirby,
Jack Kirby, of course.
and Steve Ditko, with Doctor Strange and all the crazy psychedelic stuff.
Yes.
That's what we are talking about.
Yes. 21. All right, then I think I'm good.
Okay.
An appropriately psychedelic pencil.
That's exactly right. Yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. So our idea here is that this game proceeds in kind of a strange way. Okay?
All right.
But there is one person called the narrator, who is me, but I'm not quite the game master. I'm the game master in certain important ways.
Okay.
If we all need to be reminded what is happening and where we are, if somebody gets excited and I have to explain something or whatever.
So more of a director.
Yeah, well, but you will find that one person is sort of the main character. Okay, they are called the featured player. And then another player is called the interesting player. And everybody can participate. Don't mistake that. Everybody can participate. You don't just have to wait if you are not either of these people. But at the moment, they are taking more of the game mastering than the narrator. Okay. So, and then we will be moving about in different roles a little bit.
All right, then.
As far as the story is concerned, you have contradictory tasks. Make it ridiculous and make it make sense.
All right, then.
So that's kind of a two-step process. You throw it in for fun, and then you go.
Interesting.
And you don't have to be the same person. Okay. You can just don't make it silly all the time. Don't make it ridiculous all the time. Once in a while, say, okay, what is happening? And then you say, oh, it works like this. This makes sense.
All right. Then.
And as we all do that, you will find that we make a cosmic saga with different heroes actually turning into something that works. But this is not consensus. It's not cooperative. I don't have to say, is that okay with you?
All right. So this is not a cooperative experience.
No. Did you play Zombie Cinema with us? No?
Zombie Cinema.
No, you did not. But
no, I did.
You did. Yeah.
But I've played cinematic role-playing games.
I remember being part of that conflict.
Yes, but do you remember that in Zombie Cinema, the players never had to agree?
Yeah.
Somebody always had the job to say, and the dice did what they did.
Yeah.
Right. So it's not traditional, but it's not just cooperation either, because that never works. So we are, of course, cooperating to play together for anything, but that's not the point. Okay, so we might as well begin and throw you into the cosmic vortex, right? And when we get to the dice, I will show you. When we get to the dice, I will show you how the dice work. Just remember, bigger is better at this point. And so it begins. Everybody look at your personal keyword.
Yes.
And what is the numbers that we see?
13.
20, I think, Odin? Yeah?
Still have a hard time deciding.
Oh, I say. Oh, you're still choosing your person. Oh, okay.
All right. Well, mine is Chris Conway,
Yes.
number 17.
Okay.
All right.
We will wait for everybody to have their human ready for us. Calvin
All right.
Wu is also 17. Okay. So you are going to play Sweet Jane.
Yes.
And so I believe you have a high personal score.
Yes.
Exactly. So therefore you are the first featured player. And then the next person who has the highest cosmic keyword.
Cosmic.
17.
When it comes to cosmic, I have 21.
Me too.
Okay. So in that case, let's just look inside. We have a 22 here, a 22. Oh, and a 26. So you are the first interesting player, Peter.
Okay.
And so the first thing that you do, and this is the same routine each time, and these should not take very long. We will skip to another pair pretty soon. So the first thing we do is you say, only this question, what are you doing? To Odin. You say that to Odin.
So I decide what he's doing.
No, you ask him.
You ask him, what are you doing?
Exactly.
All right then.
Tell us what Sweet Jane is doing. Look around and put her with someone she knows or doing something.
So the interesting player is the one who controls the flow of the narrative at this moment.
At the moment, yes, because you are the one who will introduce the problem. That's why you are interesting.
All right then.
But that doesn't mean Sweet Jane is just sitting there waiting for you. She is doing something.
Okay. All right then.
So what is she doing? It's easiest to start with the top one because that has, that's her primary activity. It's like when we meet the character, we want to see them doing what is most obviously defining them.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
Yes.
Okay.
The part with arts and curiosities thief.
Yes.
I honestly interpret it as stealing someone else's dreams and hopes and applying them for themselves.
Okay. So that means that, can you describe a little bit about what that looks like if you were a Marvel Comics artist on acid? And
It's somewhat being subtle at walking around the streets and gazing upon other people's dreams and hopes, and
she can just see them in their heads?
yes,
Okay.
somewhat like that.
Yeah.
And see if
All right.
and when she seek for dreams and hopes which she can take and apply to herself, so those will eventually happen to her.
Excellent.
But when she takes a dream or hope, it is no longer applicable for the ones who dreams or...
All right.
Okay.
It shows
She really steals
he's
it.
a dream,
Yes, she
dream
steals.
thief.
So now my job as the narrator is
Right.
to take this and make it into somewhat more of an imagined situation.
Yes.
So we need to, I'm thinking about where she is, and you say on a city street, and some of these references here are American, so I'm going to put her into the States. And so this is probably a small city in the United States where people are, I know. Let's make it one of the places where there's a big commercial music facility, like in Tennessee or somewhere like that with the country music, or some other place with rock music. There's a famous concert place there.
Right.
So tourists are always coming to the place, and there's always a concert there every single week. And so people are bringing a lot of their hopes and dreams to this. So I'm going to say that, in fact, it is a huge line to get into the stadium where there's going to be this big rock concert. And so Jane is just wandering up and down at this feast of possible hopes and dreams and memories and things.
Yes.
Sound okay?
Yes.
You got that? Everybody getting an image. People have been waiting a long time to get in. Some are in sleeping bags, and some people have their car pulled up illegally onto the side of the road, and then the back is open, and then they have a case of beer there, and you get the idea.
Music is blasting.
Yeah, you guys are getting the idea.
Yeah.
But everybody's a little irritated because it's kind of time for the concert after all, sooner or later. So that's my job in this game, is to kind of keep us all in
All right.
this in imagined situations.
Okay.